In the beginning, there was sound. Then a bunch of dudes were like, what do we call this sound? This guy named Boethius, he was a philosopher from the 6th century. This man was the first known person to use letters to record sound. Using the Romans' letter system, he gave each sound a name. It started with A and continued down the line of the alphabet. However, Boethius didn't realize there was more to music. Like many things we have now, they also had it in the past. It's just that we have the updated and improved version of it. The Romans' letters didn't even add the letter J until 10 centuries later. Also, the order has changed since 6th century. Before, the musical notes would start with A, where A would be the lowest note possible. And it would be the first letter, and you go down the alphabet. Although, our knowledge of the major scale has changed the way we do things. Instead of using the majority of the alphabet, we have shortened it to include the only letters we need, and there's 7 of them. So, listen up. First we have C for kaboom, D for your mom, E for I got the bad one, damn it, F for a really old model of a fighter jet, G for a defunct cable network, A is for apple, B for bingo. Now comes the juicy part where you'll learn what to do with these letters, but I must warn you, your whole life is a lie, because there's actually 12 notes in music, but we'll get to that. Okay, so we know what letters to use, and we know there's 7 of them. However, if you ever looked at an instrument, you might notice that there are more than 7 notes to play. I will be using a guitar and piano to explain. Sorry, wind instruments. What I just played was the major scale. I also just played C, D, E, F, G, A, B, where the last note was also C, but just an octave higher.
Octave.
The letters you just learned about. It's the same on guitar. However, if you look closely, you will realize that I'm skipping the black keys on the piano and skipping around the guitar. Why is that? Well, that's the major scale, and another way to think of a scale is to think of a pattern. If you were to play a different pattern, you would end up with a different scale, or just utter nonsense. Scale patterns consist of notes, and more specifically, they consist of whole notes and half notes. Looking at the piano, you will find C sitting on the left of the pair of black notes. If you move forward only using the white keys, you will get a major scale. It's the same with the guitar, except instead of skipping the black keys, you would count it by whole notes and half notes. It would go whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, meaning play C, skip a fret, D, skip a fret, E, then don't skip the next fret, but actually play it, and that would be F, and so on. If you follow this whole note and half note pattern anywhere on the guitar neck or piano keys, you will get the major scale. To be clear, you can't just play the white keys anywhere on the piano and skip the black keys and expect to play the major scale. But if you follow the pattern, it will work. For example, if we move from a C major scale, like the one we've been playing, to then play a D, you would see that you need the black keys to play the major scale, which are actually just half notes. That's all the black keys are, half notes. Looking at the keyboard, we have a C sharp, a D sharp, a F sharp, a G sharp, and an A sharp. However, if you look at the E note and the B note, you would see that there is no black note in between them, and so that sharp would just be the next letter up. So an E sharp would be an F, and a B sharp would be a C.